What's going on YouTube? Unc0ver right here. So in today's video we're talking about a kernel vulnerability or a bug that has been released by Google Project Zero and that has been very confusing in the jailbreak community. So we're going to talk about whether we can update the Unc0ver Jailbreak with it and whether it can result in a jailbreak for iOS 13, 13.1, 13.2 and stuff like that. We're talking about this vulnerability here, posted a couple of days ago by Project Zero. I talked about it in one of my videos, but it was a joint video, so multiple bugs talked in the same video, so I don't think many people saw it. But anyways, it requires some clarifications because other channels made videos about this vulnerability that were completely wrong, and yeah, we have to explain what exactly is going on with it. So it says in here, insufficient fix for CVE 2019-6205 means XNU via map copy optimization, which requires atomicity, still isn't atomic. And if you open the link in there, it goes to this page in here, which is basically the monorail. Basically, Google Project Zero shows their bugs in here, and it was reported by Unc0ver. Now, this has apparently been fixed back on December 10, 2019 by Apple, but it's compatible with iOS 13, and therefore, you would be able to use it on iOS 13.2, 13.1, 13.0, and stuff like that, but it wouldn't work on the latest iOS 13.3 and 13.3.1, which is currently in beta. But yeah, Unc0ver said in here, quote, I believe that this was fixed in iOS 13.3 as CVE 2019-8833. So basically, this is an important vulnerability. It's something that Apple failed to fix properly, so basically it's an insufficient fix for another vulnerability in the past. So it means that we do have a kernel bug. Now, a post was made by people on Reddit jailbreaking here a couple of days ago, in fact a day ago, and they say, quote, possible kernel exploit for the iPhone 6s and above, including the iPhone 11, so including A12 and A13. Now, all good and everything, and it got almost 1,000 upvotes on Reddit, but the title itself is wrong. This is not a kernel exploit. Yeah, it says possible kernel exploit, I know, but it's not a kernel exploit. It's possible to create one if you want to, but from being possible to being useful for the jailbreak community, it's a huge step. This one in here, to explain very quickly, is a bug. This means that there is a vulnerability somewhere, and if someone wants to build an exploit for this vulnerability, they would be able to do so, but that doesn't mean they would get TFP0 right away. For the moment, I didn't have time to look into the bug itself. The source code is available in here as PoC2.c and PoC2 multiproc.c, and if you open it, it shows in here exactly the code itself, but this doesn't give you any TFP0 for the moment. From turning this from a bug into TFP0 exploit, it would definitely take a lot of work from a skilled person or team of people who are very well skilled in the iOS jailbreak development and exploitation. So it's not something we can do overnight to take this bug and transform it in a kernel exploit with TFP0. So unfortunately, no, we cannot update the Unc0ver with this in here right now. The code that we got isn't exactly useful at all for the moment without a proper exploit. Yeah, we might get an exploit in the future for this vulnerability, because if we have the vulnerability and the bug, well, part of the hard work has been already done by Unc0ver. He found the bug, he found a way to trigger it by creating a proof of concept in here, which is basically showing that the bug is indeed in there, but that's where he stopped. While it's definitely nice that it's supporting the iPhone 11 and the iPhone 10 and XS Max and 10R, which means that people with devices that are not compatible with Checkra1n would be able to use this in here, we still need somebody to create an exploit for this before we can update Unc0ver, and I don't see that happening anytime soon. So while it's definitely a very intriguing bug and Apple failed again to fix something very important, this is not TFP0. No Unc0ver for the moment. Do not update to iOS 13.3, 13.2 and so on. If you're on a lower version, stay as low as possible, because kernel exploits aren't the only thing necessary for an A12 or A13 jailbreak. We also need to talk about a PAC bypass, or a pointer authentications code bypass, which can exist for a lower version but may not exist for a newer one. So when it comes to the devices like the iPhone XS, XS Max, 10R, 11 and so on, it's best to stay as low as possible, because as I said, even if you have a TFP0 kernel exploit, you may still not be able to create a jailbreak with tweaks because of a PAC bypass that we don't have, for example, for 13.2.3. And I know that the Unc0ver doesn't require one for the moment, but iOS 13 is a little bit complicated and we do not know what we need for the moment until we get TFP0. And of course, there was also this guy in here who claimed to have TFP0 a couple of days ago, and he posted a link, and it's limited to 100 downloads and you have to do some sort of challenge in order to obtain the code and stuff like that. Well, I do believe that this is completely fake. Nobody releases exploits like that, and yeah, I would definitely not not bother with this guy in here. So yeah, for the moment, my best advice for you is to stay as low as possible. Do not update to 13.3. It's the worst version to be on for the moment. Even this bug in here was patched in 13.3. So for the moment, iOS 13.3 is not a good idea. Do not update to that version if you want to jailbreak in the future. And of course, as I said, do not listen to that other guy who claims to have TFP0. He doesn't. And of course, he's just losing your time. I will keep you updated here on channel when something happens for the A12 and A13 devices. For the rest of you, if you have an iPhone 6s or lower, or an iPhone 10 or 7, I don't know, an iPhone 8, you would be able to jailbreak it with checkra1n. Anything past the iPhone 10, you need TFP0. We don't have TFP0 for the moment. Thank you for watching. I am GeoSnow. Till the next time, subscribe to stay updated, and peace out.